right, so I mean, Uno, right? Uno Thin. Right here, Mr. Honore, the game's least popular character. This guy's really good, man. How do Uno's buttons feel? Good and bad, right? Good and bad. It's probably the weakest part of him, I will say, right? Actually, we can talk about it first, because Uno really is, this is his only weakness, basically, right? Uno's only real weakness. Uno is the game, like, him and Beelzebub are the two, like, truly the all-rounder characters of, like, I can do everything, right? Because we talk about, like, you know, Shoto style, like, versatile characters, think of, like, Gran, Catalina, Jita, things like this. And what we mean, usually, is that they have, you know, they have a good set of buttons, they work in the mid-range, they can rush down, all of that. But Uno literally, like, he does everything, right? Uno is a really strong zoner with how Rakshasa works and things like this, even as, like, this is a fireball if he needs it, right? Uno is the best anti-zoner in the game, right? Uno has some of the best rushdown in the video game, and Uno can fight in the mid-range pretty well as well. Like, he literally can do everything. He can do everything, right? And Beelzebub the exact same way as well. Who's the one after Uno to master? UL. So finally, I get to play UL and actually, like, see how I feel about her strengths, because I've been, for, like, months now, I've been like, listen, man, UL, Lewayne, I don't know how I feel about them. I gotta play them so I can be more confident in my rating. But, so we're gonna do that after this. I just want to, really quick, just talk about Uno very fast. There's not a lot to talk about, right? But yeah, he really, like, he does everything, right? He's a zoner, he's a rushdown character, he's a mid-range character, he can go at any spot on the screen and be okay, which is very nice, because it means that Uno has a pretty solid matchup chart, right? In the sense that, no matter who he's facing, if he's facing a character like Matera, Uno, I feel like, might be every zoner's worst matchup after playing him, just because this move is so ridiculous. Actually, he has two very ridiculous moves against zoners, right? But, like, projectile zoners, I guess, in particular. I feel like Fairy, he could still give Fairy a really hard time, but it'll be even worse for Matera, right? The only thing he doesn't have is a command grab? Pretty much, yeah. Right, but, like, you know, the fact that he can just do this, right? And, like, to basically any fucking fireball in the video game, and this shit wall bounces as well, right? And like you have to respect that so much, and even outside of that, Rakshasa just will also a lot of the times, like, just it at least trades with your fireball, and sometimes we can even beat it clean, right? Depending. This Matera's high fireball won't lose to this. Her low fireball, I believe, will, if I remember correctly, right? This one, Rakshasa, yeah, just eats it and hits her behind it, right? So he's against zoners. He's like maybe the best anti-zoner in the game, right? Very, very well, maybe, right? Just because, and you know, his parry is also incredibly strong against fireballs. All of this. He also is incredibly hard to anti-air, which is something that a lot of zoners, in general, they tend to struggle with. For what I know, Matera should win. I don't know if that's true. Uno doesn't exist, but I don't know if Matera has a good matchup into Uno. I've only played it a couple of times in, like, S++, but, like, on paper, it just feels horrendous for her, I think. She just can't really zone in the way that she wants to, right? Rakshasa beats half her projectiles and medium parry, like parries in general. Even if you want to do this, right? It's even like safe for Uno. There's not even any like fear of him doing anything, right? But very good anti-zone. Very good anti-zone character. If he's fighting like a rushdown character, if he's fighting like Ladiva or something, guess what? He's also a very competent zoner for the exact same reasons, basically, right? If he wants, he can scrap in the mid-range. He's got very big mediums, right? But the thing with Uno, did you ever use his install? Like a couple of times. He's also got his install, right? He's also got his install, which, like, yeah, I mean, this shit is also nuts. I just never even bothered to learn how to use this because I didn't need to, but it lets him combo off everything. It makes everything safe. It makes his dive kick a combo on hits. His install is incredibly good. The problem with Uno is his U skills are also really good. So it's like, I don't know that I want to save the 100 meter for install because, like, the U skills kind of go crazy, right? Like, he can get full screen conversions off of his U fireball like he's fucking Catalina or something like that. But yeah, so he really does do everything except, right? The big thing with Uno is that his normals aren't bad, but his mediums are very, very slow, right? It's a 10 frame medium, an 11 frame 2M, and if you're further away, it's huge, right? But it can be like a 13 frame 2M, 10 frame 2M, 21 frame far H. Now, this far H is massive, right? This is literally like this, almost like a fairy normal from how far away it's hitting you, right? But it's 21 frames. It's got a lot of active frames, but like that, it being so slow is basically why his mediums had to suffer. He sounds cracked, was even lack. This is the only thing, basically, right? Is that because Uno's far H is the way that it is, it's a nice button in a vacuum, but it means he doesn't have a far H, like a normal, if you just think about, like, Matera is also a bad example, but let's take, like, Percy. Percy's got a pretty nice one, right? Even though it's got a lot of recovery and stuff. But he doesn't have, like, this sort of, like, long-range poking button for the mid-range, right? Because most characters, you know, your far L is kind of like your quick like sort of close range poke, right? Far M a little bit further out, far H a little bit further out, or like just like so maybe like for some characters their far H is just like about the same size as their far M, but it's a little meaty, so you just can crush through other things, right? Uno's far M is basically what is functioning as his far H, right? You need like they decided he needed one of these. He needed like it's a big ass far M, right? I guess this is quite the large far M, right? Percy has a similar thing actually, where his far M is kind of slow but very big, right? For 9 frames, it's a pretty chunky far M for sure. It's a pretty big far M, except that what that means, because his far M is basically functioning as his like long range poke, he doesn't have a medium, right? He doesn't have like a mid-range sort of punishing poking medium. He does. I mean, his far L can try. He's got a kind of big far L, right? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of things in the video game. There's a lot of things in the video game that are like, you know, -7, -8, things like that, that a lot of the cast is meant to be punishing with mediums that Uno just can't, right? Uno himself, I think, is one of these, but also, you know, like the sort of prototypical example that always comes to mind, because it happened in a replay review once, is not that one. It's that one, right? This thing, if I remember correctly, wait, there you go. This thing, I believe, is -8. Yeah, -8 to -9, depending on how she spaces it out. I think it can be -8 from further. Is this really? Oh, I thought one of the versions of this was -8. Regardless, I mean, even that, right? -9 is even a better example. -9, like usually the whole cast has something to do against all of this, right? Even like characters with like, you know, you might have a 9-frame far H on some of the cast if your name is like Catalina or Belial or Gran. I think Gran has one too, right? Uno, this is -9. There's nothing Uno can do about this. His far L doesn't reach, right? It's a far L. You can't expect a far L tit from over here, right? And his far M, he's too slow. He's got a 9-frame far M. He's got a 12-frame 2M, right? His 2U is 11 frames. He's got nothing. His far H is 21. So there are a lot of things that Uno is like the only character in the game, damn near, who cannot punish them. Right, he does not have like an 8 or 9 frame punish, which is basically only him. You know, like even Fairy, like from this range, Fairy's far L functions as this button, right? What's stopping him from retreating for his far M range? What do you mean by this? From retreating for his far M range. What's stopping him from retreating for his far M range? I don't know what you mean. If you could please explain yourself. 9 frame is 6XL? I guess so, yeah. You could 1-frame link, that's true. You could 1-frame link a 6XL, it's gonna be a little tough. But that, yeah, 8 frame, a lot of things are also -8, and he just can't do anything about that, right? Like, -8 is literally, he's got nothing. Why does he have to punish opponent mid-range buttons if he can just outrange them, I guess is my question. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to actually punish people when they do unsafe shit, right? There's a lot of things, Narmaya, I think, is another example of this. There are things people just can't do in other matchups that they can against Uno, right? Like, if you're Narmaya, and you do Kyoka here, H Kyoka, right? This shit, I believe, is also -8 on block, right? And, like, that, you know, if she spaces this a little bit, if she spaces this a little bit worse, right? This can very much be punishable for a lot of the cast, not Uno, right? Uno can't punish this. So Narmaya, for example, like what this mean, what does it matter? Basically, is that if you have a -8 or -7 on block sort of thing against Uno, throw that shit out. Yeah, Zoe 6XH, right? Yeah, there's a lot. Like the more you think about it, a lot of them come up. Zoe 6XH is -8. I think Sora's 6XH is -8, right? Narmaya Kyoka is -8. All of Zeta's Rhapsody follow-ups, none of them are more than -8, right? Or now -9. So, like, Uno, like, there are just options where you can just throw them out and they're just safe against him, right? If Narmaya wants to use H Kyoka and pressure for some reason, she can, right? Kyoka's safe on block also then against Uno. Is this one always, is this one also -8? I forget. Which one, what is this on block? Isn't this -6? -6? No, yeah, -6 against far L, right? His far L is actually, like, his 6 frame is pretty decent because his far L is actually, like, if you look at that, it's a pretty big far L, right? Uno has a 6-frame far L, and this sort of, like, supplements him a little bit, right? But yeah, like, there's a lot of things in the game that are about -8 that he can't do, right? Uno can't punish things most of the cast can, for the most part. I believe all of the cast. I might be forgetting someone, but I believe this is a Uno-specific weakness. Maybe Zeta has a bit of this problem too, but her 2U can make up for it. I believe Zeta also has the big slow mediums, right? Yeah, 10-frame far M, 9-frame, I mean, 9-frame big-ass 2M is nice, right? But Zeta, I believe, up close at least, yeah, she has a 7-frame 2U, right? So she has something. Not like, this is not going to work at all ranges, right? But she still has some kind of, you know, quicker punish that can work out, right? And I believe her far L is also better than Uno's because the white woman far L. So yeah, so that is kind of his... This is the only weakness that Uno really has, and it does make him a little weaker in the mid-range too, right? Because, like, he's not bad in the mid-range, but where I'd say Uno kind of, I know her 2U's stubby, but she has something. Uno has a 14-frame 2U, right? She has something, a little bit, right? she at least has something, and her 2M is 9 as well, right? So that does help. Where Uno's is 12 or 11, depending on how far away you are, or 13 if you're far away. So at least like for -9 stuff, she has something, right? She has a slightly worse version, or I guess a slightly better version of this weakness for Uno, right? A slightly less problematic version of it. But yeah, so this is kind of the only thing that hurts Uno. And then also, it is still the case that Uno doesn't have like a reliable heavy poke button, right? We can't, I can say like, oh, you know, Uno's far M is 10 frames, and it's big enough that it essentially functions as his far H, right? And that's very true. But at the end of the day, if someone sticks a far H out into this, Uno's gonna die, right? Zeta far H a normal button? Yeah, it is, okay. Like, you know, if we're both kind of poking at each other, right, and Zeta swings her far H into mine, hold on, the timing on this is weird, yeah, it just crushes mine and I die, right? He does not have, like, a heavy mid-range button, and again, you see where Zeta's far H is, like, 9 frames up close, Uno's far M is 10, right? So it's like a slow heavy that loses to other heavies. So while he has good range, he really does not... He has a hard time fighting in this mid-range against characters with really good mid-range buttons, right? Where I'd say Uno is an exceptional, like, long-range, full-screen character. He's an exceptional anti-zoner. He's, like, the best anti-zoner, probably. Him or like, 2B, probably, is the best anti-zoner. He has exceptional rushdown, right? Like, Uno is exceptional in your face. He's not good, he's not okay, he's not great, he's amazing, right? In this range. He's only kind of okay here. TBH, Uno pokes with 623X. This is not a... I mean... No? Right? I don't think so. This is more like from over here, from outside a button range, absolutely, right? He's not doing this from a range where someone could swing a far H at him, though, right? I disagree with that strongly. Uno, if you wanna do your 45 frame animation in range of my far H, by all means, little guy, right? You get a quick spot dodge, please? Yeah. Wait. How based? Wait. How based? Uno can use 623 from, like, over here. Again, this is one of the reasons that Uno was very good at these long ranges. He's got Rakshasa, he's got 623, right? But, like, he's not doing it from, like, the range where he would want a far H, right? If Zeta's sticking out her far H at, like, this range, Uno's ass is not going to be doing 623 over here, right? And he says how base. Yeah, but that's not how we do it around here. He goes how based. But yeah, so this is, like, it's not 623H, even still, right? This is I mean, this is... Still not, like, this is not really, I would not call this, it's not, like, you would still rather have a far H than a 23 frame button. At least Biz does it? Yeah, that's because it's his only option, basically, right? Like, at least it's active, right? It can certainly beat things, but, like, you can think of this, if you want to think of this as, like, a 16 frame far H, be my guest. That's not good, right? Uno has options, but he would much, I mean, listen, I know I bring her up every fucking time, right? But you know what Uno would rather have versus that? He would much rather be able to poke with this, right? Uno would much rather have fucking this or something instead, right? Or this or something like that. So, like, it's not that he's bad in the mid-range, but that is kind of the only place, in my opinion, that Uno does not really excel, I don't think, right? Uno's only, he's, like, fine. He's solid in the mid-range. Uno does not really have a weak spot on the screen, but he's only fine in the mid-range, I would say, right? It's because of how his buttons end up being structured. So what ends up happening is, you know, Uno does just kind of, Kalita keeps being an example. I mean, it's the character with the best buttons in the game, right? So when I want to point at someone and go like, you know, you'd much rather have good buttons than your buttons, it's really hard to not bring up anyone who isn't Catalina. It's like, it's sandbagging for no reason otherwise. Uno never plays from that range, always projectile range or in your face. I know. That's why I'm saying that it's good that he can do that, but like, he kind of, the reason that he plays from this range or this range is that this range is his weakest. Does the logic track here for you, right? Again, imagine if Uno was just as good as he is here and just as good as he is here. Imagine if he was just as good here. Imagine if he had, like, Catalina's buttons. The character would be broken insane, right? So, again, I'm not saying, oh, Uno's actually bottom 1 because his far M is 10 frames. I'm saying this is a weakness of the character. Like, this is about as much as his weakness, as much weakness as he gets, right? Uno's buttons make him weaker in the mid-range. Yeah, he has slow buttons, right? Like 21 frame far H, 10 frame far M, which is trying to be a far H, but really isn't, right? Things like this. 17 frame 2U. Now again, all these buttons function, but you know. But yeah, so that's, but after that though, it's all strengths, right? We can talk about that. After that, Uno is just amazing at everything else, right? Rakshasa is a really nice tool like this. It's also not a projectile, right? So a lot of projectile invuln stuff is less effective against this. And it's got the, you know, if it hits, it's got the second active frame, right? He has lots of different versions off it. He can, like, combo off the U version from full screen. If you get the timing right, you can, like, juggle, you know, like 1, 2, into, I think, 2, 1, 4 U. Yeah, it does work. We did it earlier, but I'm bad. There's a certain timing and spacing for it, I think. You know, he's got He's got, like, you know, Spiral Spear is also a very good poke from far away. You can also, like, turn the jets on immediately with Spiral Spear if you just, like, you can close gap really quickly like that and reaction check your ass. And up close, I mean, this is maybe the best throw bait in the entire game, right? This is maybe the best throw bait in the entire game. It's in that discussion. It's like this, Grimnir's Seal Dash, and Narmaya's TK Flip are the best throw baits in the game, right? You can really pick your poison at that point, like which one you think is best. But like Uno's is, if you said Uno, you wouldn't be wrong necessarily, right? It's very much in that discussion. It combos on hits all the fucking time. It's fast enough that it will always catch both button techs, pretty much, right? In the mid-range, poke range, there is 6XL. Well, sure. I mean, his 6XL is not horrible, right? It's not horrible. It's not. He doesn't have a bad one. He doesn't have a great one. But again, like, guess what? Everyone else also has 6XL, right? So everyone else also has 6XL, and they have better buttons than you, right? If you think that the mid-range is just doing 6XL, then you're not going to get very far, right? It's certainly a strong option, but the idea like, oh, I'm in the mid-range, I'm just going to hit 6XL, it's going to work every time, is not quite correct, right? But yeah, so this is like one of the best throw baits in the game. Catches both techs, full combo all the time. Even if it misses, it's plus on block, right? The only reason this isn't the only thing that makes this somewhat okay, and I say somewhat very sparingly, is it is at least the EX version of the move. So it does put that shit on cooldown, right? So once he does it, he can't do it again. Well, let's not have the quick cooldowns on. But, you know, once he does it, he can't do it again for a little bit, at least. So that's nice. But yeah, this is like, this shit plays your offense for you, right? Oh, another weakness of Uno, actually. One other thing that he's not really great at. Vera has a similar problem to this, too. Uno has some big buttons. He's not super good at converting off of them in the corner here from, like, long range without spending 50, right? Like, if he gets, like, you know, if he's, like, close here, you know, he's got perfectly fine, you know, like, actually very, very nice, like, very sort of high damage BMBs here they can do to, like, end in save jabs, stuff like that, right? But if he, like, gets a hit from over here, it's kind of tough, right? Like, he can't really, on certain counter hits, he can do stuff like that, right? But it's not really going to go into too much. He can't really spin from here. It's not really fast enough, right? Spiraling Spear doesn't really reach from max range far M. So he ends up having to do stuff like this, right? Which is, like, that's okay. But again, it's something that, you know, Uno is a really good character, right? Are his far range buttons too far to RS him to? No, you can. But again, this is like, if you have to spend a Brave point and 25 to convert, right? It's not great. And also, Uno does have a bit of a problem with Raging Strike conversions, where this is another thing where not having an 8-frame medium actually does hurt him, right? This is like usually talked about with heavies, but to like RS someone off the ground like this and catch them before they land, you only have 8 frames, right? That's why like Gran, just to showcase this really quickly, right? Gran, with his 8-frame close H, Catalina's close H is 9, I think, so we can use her as a bad example for once. I believe Catalina's close H is 9. Let me just double check that. Yes, yeah. So, like, Gran can do stuff like this, Raging Strike and catch with close H, right? Whereas Catalina cannot because her close H is too slow, right? 8 frames is the cutoff. This is not just a heavy thing, it's just you have to have an 8-frame startup move for when you pop someone up with Raging Strike off the ground. In the air, it's much more lenient, right? In the air like this, you can start comboing like anything you want if you've got enough height, right? But off the ground, you need 8 frames. That's all the time you have. Uno not having an 8-frame medium kind of fucks him over here too, right? A little bit. Because like if Uno launches your ass from max range with his Raging Strike, he can't just like medium you and catch you after, right? He kind of has to like, if his far L's out of range, like I feel like he's like over here, right? And far L won't reach, he kind of doesn't have a great way to extend the combo from here either, right? So Uno is not really very threatening from the Grand Blue Zone unless he wants to spend meter, which again, it's not that he can still like from there, if he does this, like, you know, he gets close H after this, like it's a nice conversion for sure. But that is, again, when we talk about Uno is a good enough character. Uno is a borderline top-tier character. So things like this, instead of being like, yeah, whatever, we start nitpicking these, right? These are the reasons that Uno is not top-tier to me. Now, again, it's fine, because he's not as good from out here, right? But again, he's one of the, like, this is just one of the best offensive moves for in-your-face that exists in the video game. So his offense is still very strong, but this is a weakness that he does have, right? That's it. I think those two are genuinely the only two I can think of on this guy, right? But yeah, amazing throw bait, right? He's got good damage. He's got the best non-permanent install in the game as well. Like, if you want, you know, if you can't find the time to not spend your U skills and actually do shit like this with Uno, right? You can just do, like, fictional combos with like, everything combos, everything's plus. His pressure goes on forever. His combos go on forever. Like, this is a very incredibly strong install that Uno has access to as well, right? Could you do late tech with 2H against Uno's throw baits? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can, and that'll beat him. But I mean, just forcing you to do that already, or you could late tech with close L as well. but forcing you to do that, he's got a low 2L. So if you delay tech with close L, he can just run up delay low and kill you. Or if you delay tech with 2H, suddenly backdashing will probably also kill you for most of the cast. Or again, you'll be much more vulnerable to like walk up close H's, since your 2H has significantly more startup and like counter hittable frames than your 2L. But you can. He has some decent give and take. Yeah. Grammar balance be so good, honestly, right now. Yeah, Uno's really, really good. Uno's very good, right? Overall, I don't know that. I think I did the only like I discovered a weakness of Uno's that I didn't really think of before during this run, which is like kind of how not amazing his conversions are from out here, right? So I think maybe my opinion on Uno may have gone down ever so slightly, but I think he's still incredibly strong, right? Uno is I think a little underrated in general, not like by people who play the game. They like people who know ball. They know that that Uno is good, right? But I think a lot of the community, he just doesn't fucking exist. Uno would be toxic if more people played him, changed my mind. I don't think so, right? I think Uno's good, but I mean, there's probably like 9 or 10 characters better than him. He's very good, right? But there are more popular characters that are stronger than him, and you know, it's fine. I think if anything, Uno is pretty toxic in practice right now for most people, because when they fight him, they like don't know any of his knowledge checks, right? I would just like get away with doing this, which is punishable on block. People just let me do it, right? By another thing, by the way, -7. Uno himself can't punish this, where some other characters might be able to. Oh no, it's in close. Okay, it's in close normal distance. Yeah. It's if at certain spacings it leaves you in close normal. I think at certain spacings it won't, but it can leave you in close normal distance as well, right? In which case Uno can actually do something about it. But yeah, from here, for example, he couldn't punish it. But yeah, like he's toxic. I'm thinking of all the parry mix-ups. Yeah, we can talk about that too, right? Uno very hard to anti-air. He can air parry, he can ground parry. He's got this parry as well, which is very good. Right? He's got this parry, which again is not toxic unless you don't know, in which case it becomes like plus on block parry if you don't have to spot dodge that second half, right? But yeah, he gets buffed a lot for people not knowing him. But even if you know the knowledge checks, he's still very good, right? Having an air parry is wild, yes. I mean, he does have a lot of recovery on landing here. It adds 15 frames of recovery if he whiffs it. So it is very much something you can punish on reaction. But like, he's so hard to anti-air, man. Because he has that, and he has this, an air stall that can punish, like he can air stall and punish your 2H, depending on timing. And he has this. And he has this. Like, he has so many different ways. Counter hit punish? Yeah, this is counter hit recovery. I can show you right now. If I just have this Uno thing right here, do that. Right? I think I have counter hits on all the time, but I promise you it is. Right? There you go. So he has so many different ways to change his air momentum. And by the way, God forbid, if you do try to 2H Uno and he catches you with this parry or with this or something like that, it's a full air version as well. Yes, yeah, air version as well is also counter hit recovery, I'm pretty sure. Let me have him actually do it. Right, you see? So yeah, if he catches you with any of this, right? Like if you 2H him and he catches you, guess what, motherfucker? You're eating a full crouching combo, right? Like it's not just like an anti-anti-air where it's like, oh, it's not like, you know, he hits me a little bit or something. No, like you're going to die, right? I air stall with the dive kick and it beats your 2H. Again, full crouching confirmed, right? Where like this 1-frame link that he has gets easier. It becomes a 2-frame link. He can do a lot of damage, corner carry, things like this. So it's incredibly high reward as well. Yeah, or if he has install, that's true. If he has install and dive kicks you literally ever, right? Guess what, motherfucker? You're eating a full combo as well, right? Like he just does imaginary shit with this install up. It's actually kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the character really does, and his JH is good. Also true. His JH is a very nice air-to-air and air-to-ground jump-in button. Mostly an air-to-air for sure. His JM is nice, but like he can like from distance. He can like. Wait, no, I could have sworn I have JH people on the... Maybe Uno's short? Maybe I was fighting taller characters. Yeah, you can use it in overhead. Yeah. I guess you have to be a little late on it. Uno's is short, so I gotta be even later. But yeah, it's also a very good air-to-air as well, right? I mean, this is a very good air-to-air as well, right? This is a nice little cross-up button that he's got, and also functions as a pretty decent air-to-air, right? It's not like Versuja JU. You can see it can certainly whiff, but like it's a relatively reliable cross-up that he's got. Like Uno is pretty good at literally everything, is basically it, right? Except he struggles a bit, like it is his mediums are his downfall, basically. His mediums are his downfall. It's all good for doing delayed safe jumps, yeah, because it does hit, you have to hit like really late anyway, right? So you can fake it really easily. Uno's really good at everything, except, again, his mediums make it so like he has a hard time converting here, like even off a Raging Strike extension, right? He can't catch as easily, unless he's using U skills, and it also makes him a little bit weaker in the mid-range. But again, in the mid-range, Uno's not bad. He's just okay compared to some of like the true sort of juggernauts, right? So, I mean, we can talk about it real quick. That's true, yes. I always forget to mention that. Uno does have a 6-frame close L. I mean, that's definitely a weakness, right? That is definitely a problem for Sir Uno right there, right? 6-frame close L is a big deal. Yeah, can't punish stuff that's -5 unless it's also in throw distance. Right. So in general, Uno's punish game a little bit weak, certainly. Things that are like spaced out and very minus though, his 2M is gigantic, right? Something that's like quite minus in space, he can do it pretty well, or like, you know, even like full screen punishing things with Rakshasa. But yeah, up close, his punish game is not very good. Yeah, and if you have an even on block close M, you can bully him with it too, for sure. I think this is, oh no, Bubs is too low. I would put Bubs probably like up here-ish. But yeah, Uno probably remains around there, I think. Maybe he moves, maybe, yeah, like Bubs basically moves above him, but I don't think Uno moves, right? He's very good. Uno's very strong. I don't think he's quite as much of a menace as some of the rest of the top tier, but I think he's very, very good, right? No, that like you know, he has a couple of weaknesses, but realistically, overall, being such a versatile character like that really is a very underrated thing. So a big part of how good you are is like your matchup spread into like a lot of the different characters in the game. And because Uno can, you know, he can be comfortable at this range, he's very happy to be here, he's very happy to be here, right? It just means that Uno can't really have an abysmal matchup, right? Certainly some characters can match up into his tools pretty well, right? But like, you know, if Uno can't zone you, right, guess what? He can rush down incredibly well, right? If Uno can't rush you down, like if you're Ladiva and he probably doesn't want to rush you down, then he's going to zone your ass. So he can do that very well, right? If Uno has to fight you in the mid-range, he can fight you in the mid-range, right? Or even like, he can as well fight you slightly outside of the range of your own buttons, probably, right? Far H works from all the way over here. You know, things like this work from all the way over here. It's kind of like this like 2/3 of the screen range. Not like zoning yet, right? But kind of like this like 6XL-ish range, like a little bit outside of 6XL range. He can fight from here very well with like his Far H and stuff. Kind of like the Ladiva Lariat range as well. So he really does have, in every single matchup, he's going to have a spot on the screen he can stand where he's going to feel relatively comfortable. And that is an incredibly important thing for a character's viability in the highest levels of the game, right? Because if you just have matchups that completely shut you down, right, it's going to be a problem. For what I know, Uno moves are too slow to deal with Matera's projectiles in the mid-range. With the recovery buffs, possibly, but even then, like I'm pretty sure Rakshasa, if she does her fucking like low arrow or something, right? I mean, Matera's high arrow, you can just crouch it or spot dodge it or something. That's a universal pretty good answer. But I believe, like from mid range, they're gonna trade at the very least. Which again, I mean, Uno will take that trade. He's got more health than Matera, and if they go to full screen, he's gonna even have an easier time probably anti-zoning her. Like, you know, if we're like at a little bit past round start distance here, and she does like that, you know, it hits me in 34 frames, right? I hit her like quicker. Now, of course, again, I don't kill the high arrow, but if she does low arrow, even like from here, like basically round start, right? If she does low arrow, it's hitting me in the same amount of time as Rakshasa, right? So I just win. So like, I don't really agree. Like if Uno is like taking, like they're both trying to zone each other, Uno's gonna beat her most of the time, right? And if she does something a little bit more committal, like he might straight up kill her with the parry too, right? He's got good punishes for butterfly setups from very far with like a very quick U fireball, right? Like he really is very good in zoners, I think. Very, very good in zoners. But yeah, man, he's damn fun, he's damn good. I understand why he's unpopular, because he's kind of like an old Pringles man, but this character was very fun and very easy to get to Masters too because of all the knowledge checks. But yeah, let's play some UL.